Hello and hello, welcome to episode 70 of Look Back. Yeah, basically I look back at what I've reviewed 1 year ago and 5 years ago. See basically whether I still agree with myself or not, whether I'm still giving the same results, and also whether those things are still around anymore as well. It's quite interesting to see what's come and gone over the years. Some things we might have just completely forgotten about. Now I do have a bit of a cold today, I must say, so hopefully I'll be okay, but might be a bit of a coughing fits or something like that, so please bear with me if that happens. Hopefully I've been alright most of today, but you know what it's like, as soon as you plan on doing anything and start speaking for longer than normal, might be a bit more problematic, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, okay, so let's try and hopefully put some music on. We'll see what it's like. Try a bit of a new tune today. Let's see what goes on. New playlist, see if it's any good or not. Hopefully it'll be okay. We shall see, so fingers crossed it's alright. I'll just turn off my headphones, there we go, yes, because I can hear the tune in the background and maybe you can as well. So there we go, so hopefully it's alright, hopefully it's not too loud, hopefully it's okay, hopefully it's this, that and the other. But yeah, basically we're going to have a look at let's see what I reviewed this week. So Andrew's on the way to Austria, he said. Are we on the plane to Austria when you're doing the live today? Goodness me, he's only just got back from Italy, so alright for some, isn't it? So miss unfortunately, I'm curious to see what the chocolate situation is like. Well, basically we're not doing a stash watch today, although I do have some new things in the stash, typically after doing a massive stash watch last week. But I think I'll save it till next week basically, just to mix it up a bit, and there we go. And good afternoon, hello Alan, how are you doing? Yes, hope your cold isn't getting you down. It was a bit this week, I must say, Alan. I was wasn't feeling the best this week, but I'm a bit better today. Still a bit congested, this, that and the other, but hopefully I'll be okay. I've done it's not stopped me doing a review today. I managed to do one today, so that was good. But yesterday was touch and go basically, but I'm not doing too bad. How are you doing, Alan? How's things going for you? And yeah, what's the chocolate situation like where you are? Have you got anything nice and new? I do have some new things for Stash Watch as well. As I say, I've got about 6 or 7 new things, and I still haven't got the Kit Kat chunky caramels, which I want to try and get. I did visit a Tesco Express and a large Tesco to see if I could find them, but no dice unfortunately. So they are still on my. I'm still looking out for them, but we'll see. And how's music sound, Alan? By the way, is it too loud or anything like that? Hopefully it's okay. Right, so let's get the graphics up. You know, it's always a challenge getting these graphics up, and I'm a bit out of practice, so now let's see what happens. Can we find the right ones? Let's have a look. There we go, that's not too bad. Good start. So let's have a look. Member video. Yeah, we did a member review last month. McCoy's grilled last year. 1 year ago, McCoy's grilled American cheese flavour rich cooked potato crisps it was as well. So if you're a brother from above, please go and check that out. Hopefully, if you've not seen it already, or if you want to see it again, maybe. Let's see, if you want to become a member, there's a link in the description. You click the join button somewhere down here somewhere. We'll be gifting some free memberships today as well halfway through. It's that time of the month again. Well, basically it's a new month, so we can do. Got 5 to give away, so we'll be doing that also. So be support level memberships basically. So they are the most basic ones. I can't gift for free any higher levels than that. It's just the way it goes, and will be random things like this, things like that. But anyway, better. Well, well, a gift horse in the mouth can't look one in one, or whatever it is. Whatever the expression is, you know what it's like. But there we go. There we are. Alright, so that was the member review. I'm going to hopefully publish a new member review today. The one I recorded today was a member review. I've got about 10 in the backlog to do as well, so I need to get them published. So this, that and the other, so there we go. But tell you what, let's go back 5 years, shall we? Let's have a look. So let's have a look, is that 5 years ago? There we go, almost there. Not bad. Did it almost first time? Pretty much first time that time, so that's quite interesting. So let's say we'll go back at what I reviewed 5 years ago. Let's have a look at what we've got. One of them is quite interesting actually. There's one that I reviewed like a sort of limited edition 1 year ago, and it wasn't a limited edition 1 year ago, but it was a limited edition 5 years ago, and it's become a new bar. So it's quite an interesting one. But anyway, yes, what's this one here? I'll just have a look at the official name. Let's see. Snickers Creamy Almond Peanut Butter Squares it was. I think was this an import? I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think now. Was it an import, this one? I can't quite recall. I feel like it was when I was just come back from the US, I think, maybe. I'm not sure. Or I seem to remember seeing it in the US. But anyway, I had this one there to review. I gave this 4 out of 5. Hang on, that's the wrong side. Hang on, let's have a look. There we go. 4 out of 5 I gave it. Yeah, so I gave it 4 out of 5. Very different to regular Snickers, this one. It was more like... had, as you can imagine, an almond butter centre really, and it was like the 2 squares I think for the pack, maybe 2, maybe 4, I think there was 2, I'm not sure, could be more or less. Basically it was a bit more like the texture of the Cadbury Fudge, if you can imagine that, so it wasn't really like a Snickers as we know it at all really, or the typical Snickers. It was quite interesting, quite nice, but one of those really where I thought it was a bit different, quite interesting, but I don't know, was it really a Snickers? You know what I mean? I think it didn't even have caramel in it. I can't quite recall it. I think it was mainly just this creamy almond butter square, and it didn't really have It didn't really taste very almondy either. And I've noticed a lot of the time with some of these, you know, sort of nutty bars, they often don't taste quite like as strong as you would like them to. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. And this was one case where it didn't taste too strong. Nonetheless, I was quite impressed with it. I thought it wasn't too bad. I don't really. This is one of those ones where I don't think, you know, if I saw it again, would I buy it? Probably not. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I didn't mind it too much. So it's probably more, maybe, I don't know. I'm tempted to knock it down to 3.5 out of 5, but I feel like it's a bit different, interesting. Stickers are quite inventive with their flavours abroad, aren't they? They're definitely a bit different, Alan, you're right. I mean, they definitely do something a bit more interesting, don't they? Because in the UK, I think we've got a white chocolate one, haven't we? And that's about it. Have we had even any other kind of Snickers? I guess we got the, I don't think it was a UK one, was it? We just had, I don't even know if the white chocolate one is a UK one, actually. It might just be a European one. But they had the butterscotch one or something, but again, I don't think that was a UK one. So yeah, they do definitely seem to do more abroad. In the UK, we just get very limited stuff, really, I think. So we're going to give it the benefit of that. We'll say, you know, 4 out of 5. You know, give it the same, basically. I don't know whether I'd be too tempted to buy it again. You know, I don't know if it's really, I don't know, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, it's interesting, like Alan says as well. It's a bit something a bit different. I think it's like a typical limited edition product, I would say, where it's nice to try it. But whether you'd have it loads of times, I don't know. But I'll give it the benefit of that, I would say 4 out of 5. But I think it was closer to a 3.5 than a 4.5, that's for sure, that one. One of those, really. Interesting one, interesting. And then we already have fried strawberry cream, yes. Now this was an interesting one, this one. I mean, there's lots of talk for a long time. Andrew as well, who was mentioned before, is on the planes of Austria as we speak. Basically, was always talking about fries 5 cent, and it's basically like the Cadbury's snack from Australia, where it's got 5 or 6 different flavours in. Now fries have got various sort of cream flavours over the years. They've done. They seem to have a standard mint one, a regular normal one, and I think they have a raspberry one, and they did an orange one, which I think is still around, and there's probably another one. I did a coffee one at one point, did the strawberry one, and they've just never done the fries 5 cent again, which seems a real missed opportunity to me. And I don't know why this one was a limited edition one either, really. It seems like a normal flavour, you know, they have raspberries and one, I think. They did do anyway, whether they still do, I don't know. So what I gave this, I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. Let's check out the right side. Yes, I have 3.5 out of 5. Basically, it's smelt a bit like a Cadbury Strawberry Dream. I think it's called, from Cadbury Roses, that kind of thing. But I thought, you know, nice dark chocolates around. But I thought the flavour was a bit weak on this one. I thought it could have been a bit stronger, basically, you know. So a bit of a shame. Again, it was a limited edition one, and it felt a bit limited edition like, because of the fact it wasn't too strong, you know. Just top myself up with a bit of a drink. Yeah, so it was a bit of a typical one, that one, really. So I'm not sure what to say, but I don't know. It's certainly closer to a 3 than a 4, I think. But again, you know, quite nice, quite interesting. I just wished it did the fries 5 cent, I really do. But I think probably about the same, I think, you know. 3.5 out of 5. I think, again, another one that's probably closer to the lower end than the top end of that, really. So, yeah. Interesting one, really. I'm glad that they do it. It's one of those where I'm just glad they have different flavours. It feels nice that they have different flavours, and it's nice that you could basically just buy a few of them and have a different experience, really. But it's a shame that they don't. It's a shame that they don't do like a selection box, really. I mean, well, I guess they kind of do, don't they? They do that one where it's got like 3 flavours in. But I feel like it should, you know, if they're not going to do a fries 5 cents a bar, why not do an actual, you know, selection box or something like that with mini ones in, 1 segment's in, or whatever. Well, so they kind of, you know, even with the limited edition ones, they kind of have done, as I say, with some of the others. I think the orange flavour one is one that stuck around a bit, actually. Yeah, but it never feels, it's not the same. It's like a sort of free flavour selection box isn't really, for me, a selection box as such, if you know what I mean. So I don't feel like it is anyway. So yeah, I don't know. Feel like fries were coming on strong, but they never followed up with it. Never followed through with it. They seem to have faded away again, unfortunately. So yeah, don't know. I feel like Andrew was saying there was a new product they were doing as well recently, but I can't think what it was. Now these ones here, I can't find the actual packaging for this one. Sometimes you can find them, so I had to use my own thumbnail. McVitie's Cherry Bakewell Digestive Slices. These ones were. And I gave these a 3 out of 5. I gave these ones. Basically, the flavour is nice and it feels authentic. It doesn't feel like a flavour as such, if you know what I mean. Like it's been flavoured. Smells nice as well. So basically, like a cherry bakewell. It's better than the biscuit equivalent. They did a few. It's where they're doing like the limited edition biscuit range as well of these flavours. I think I did a digestive slice in the last look back as well. I will put links to all these reviews in the description, by the way, after I've finished the live. Yeah, so basically I thought this was quite good, but the reason I thought it was quite stodgy, that was the only thing, it was quite stodgy. It's got like a dense digestive base on this one. Basically if you imagine like a flapjack with a bit of a topper, like a chocolate top, and basically sort of like sort of crushed digestive with butter. So it was a bit stodgy, but it was nice all the same. I thought my problem with it was, and the reason it got such a low rating, was because it was so egregious with the so ridiculous with the with how much you got. There was space for so much more in the pack. It was just one of those ridiculous ones where it's just got loads of dead space in it with a tray and this, that, and the other. But I don't know. I think they all do that really, and it's been difficult over the years to maintain marking things down for that. And maybe I should do. Maybe I should keep it up. But almost all of them do it these days, and there's so much shrinkflation going on. You'd end up just giving everything half a mark less all the time, really. So I think I will mark this one up, and I'll say, we'll say 3.5 out of 5. I think, it wasn't too bad actually. I'd say better than the biscuit equivalent, to be honest with you, which was I'd say always a bit under. The flavours for the limited edition Vintage Chocolate Digestives have tended to be a bit weak in my view. When you did a cherry bakewell one, and the cherry one are the only ones that seem to be relatively stronger because the cherry is a stronger flavour. But generally they've been a bit disappointing really. And that was, but the slices seem to just work a lot better, just seem to be a bit stronger. Alright, and that's for 5 years ago. And here we go, so yes, the top deck. Yeah, this was from Cadbury Australia, this one. Let's have a look. So it was actually sort of advertised as having Cadbury Dairy Milk and Cadbury Dream in there, because Dream is still a thing in Australia, so they still get Cadbury Dream there. And I gave this one actually, top marks, 5 out of 5 I gave this one. I thought it said, it just looks, really exciting, looks great. Let's say it's got Dream in it and Dairy Milk as well. And also the thing is, the real sort of, the plus point was it was pretty much a 50-50 split between white and milk chocolate. So it had top deck, for those who don't know, is a classic bar. Probably it must have been in Australia as well, but in the UK it used to be around. It was like one of those weird top shelf chocolate bars you used to get in like news agents and things. And it was, I never had it when I was younger, because it was one of those where it's quite expensive and I was a bit too young for it, and then I never sort of caught it, and then it disappeared from shelves really. But basically the squares of the segments, imagine like the little nubbies that sit on top, were white chocolate, and then the base of it was dairy milk, basically milk chocolate. And they brought this back out, or at least I don't think it was a limited edition, but it might have been in Australia. I've got it in B&M. And basically, it was a 50-50 split really. As you will know, they did bring it back in the UK. We'll come to that in a bit actually. We'll do the 1 year back ones, because this is the one that was came out 1 year ago in the UK. This was really nice. It just was really good. It just hit the brief perfectly. A 50-50 split of milk and white chocolate. Just tasted great. Dairy milk in the Australia isn't as good as UK dairy milk, but nonetheless, I think it hit the brief in this one. It was really nice. It just was a 50-50 split, as I say, which is the most important part of it. I think Lidl, maybe Aldi did sort of a similar bar to this as well, and they did a 50-50 split also. That's the most important part of it really, is you get as much white chocolate as milk chocolate, I would say. So I think this one, it might be, as I say, it's not quite dairy milk as good as the UK's dairy milk, but because it's got the white chocolate as well, there is a bit of give and take there, and the dairy milk is, even if it was the perfect dairy milk taste, because you've got the white chocolate in there, it's going to be diluted a bit, as you say, but maybe with a good taste anyway. And I think that's what you'd want in this bar, so I don't think it matters too much. So so I think I'll keep with the same 5 out of 5. Really nice bar, this one, really nice bar. Yeah, there we go. So there we are. So about halfway through already, guys. Goodness me, we're getting through this quite quickly. So sometimes they go quick, sometimes they don't. Might be a quick one this week. We'll see. So I'm going to give 5 memberships now, by the way. So you have to opt in for this. So a bit of a palaver to do it, but basically, in order to opt in, if you're watching, you can do this now. If you click on the join button, just down somewhere here somewhere, that says join, you'll get I think like an options menu. Might look like one of the burger menu, or 3 dots, or options, or settings, or a cog, or something like that. If you click on that, you have membership gifting. If you click on that, it'll then say gifting options, or have a slider bar or something. If you slide the bar to on, then you'll be able to receive free membership giftings, basically, so I can gift you that membership. You just have to opt into it. I don't think there's any reason not to opt into it. I think it's just so that you you're just aware of what's going on, basically, because you can be gifted loads of memberships when you don't really know about it. So yeah. So there we go. So let's I'll just reset the graphics while you're preparing yourself for that. So let's go for let's see, we want 1 year ago now, don't we, really? Yes. So there we go, I think we've done that. It's quite quick as well, not too bad. Alright, so let's see if we can gift them. Hopefully we can. Sometimes it complains and messes me around and stuff like this, so let's have a, let's have a try. So just, alright, let's see. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's see who gets them. Good luck, everyone, good luck, good luck. Let's have a look, see what happens. Okay, Harrison Fisher, well done, Harrison, well done. Got Clippy, the paperclip there is your avatar, which is quite interesting. George as well, welcome back, Georgie. Skywalker also, goodness me, Skywalker. Haven't on the channel quite a lot. Rick B also a regular, and Poppycorn as well. Pops in the chat every now and again, so well done, well done. Good to see Harrison. I'm sure Harrison's had one before, but I can't remember if you had Clippy as your image before. But anyway, either way, and welcome back, Georgie, welcome back. Great to see you all, and enjoy your memberships, yes. So there we go, right, so I can tell you what, so let's go back to 1 year ago. What did we do 1 year back? Let's have a see. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll jump straight to the relevant one, which is the top deck from last year. Well, speaking of Skywalk, here he is. Hello Skywalk, how are you doing? Good to see you, good to see you. Good haircut there, good haircut. How's it going, Skywalk? Hope you're doing well, indeed. What's new at your, well, what's I say? Neck of the woods, that's the expression I wanted. Alright, let's have a look. So here we go. So the UK top deck 1 year ago. So I reviewed this one. Alright, but I gave this one, well, not pales in comparison to the Australian one. 3 out of 5 I gave this one. But it's nostalgic, things like this. But it was just an amateurish bar. It was just almost like a rebrand, a repaint, a re-release of Cadbury's sort of seasonal bars. They do, you know, the ones that are just like the spring bars with the bunnies on top, or the Christmas tree ones where it's basically, you know, the white chocolate is only a lip service basically. It doesn't even look like it's particularly Cadbury's white necessarily. It might be like a cheap white chocolate, I'm not too sure, hard to say, it doesn't really label itself as that, I don't think. The artwork was a bit poor as well, it looked like slices of toast, I don't know if you can quite see there, but that's what it kind of looked like. So it's a bit a bit disappointing really, to say the least. So yeah, it was just a real lazy effort really, I guess. I know, you know, it could have been that was exactly what the original was like, as I say, I didn't have it originally. But when I compare it to the Australian one, which is everything I'd expect it to be, this one, I say, it was a very thin bar as well. It was a lot thinner than typical Cadbury Dairy Milk bars. So it wasn't thick either, you know. So it's just a real lazy attempt, really. It really was, you know. So I think probably that one, it should probably be lower than the 3, but nonetheless, it's still nice. You know what I mean? You know. But if anything, it's lower. But I'm keeping it because it's still reasonably nice. I don't think I can sort of give it anything less than that. But it's certainly disappointing, and yeah, it's still around today. You can still buy it. But disappointing product really, very disappointing. As I say, just basically like a repackage of the other stuff that they do, their seasonal bars, spring bars and stuff like that. So yeah, a bit disappointing really, a bit disappointing. Yes, all good. Yes, good to see you, Scout. Good to see you. Happy it's the weekend. I need a break from the working week. It's been a tad too hot. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, definitely. It's still quite warm in my house. Heat is just not leaving. You know, I need to. I've not got any windows open as well, which is a bad idea actually. So I need to get them open. But it doesn't really help that much, to be honest with you. Yeah. Good for drying clothes though. But other than that, yeah, it's been too hot. Really too hot. I don't really appreciate this weather at all. And you know, it's nice. You know, to an extent, but. Yeah, for me, for what I do most of the time, which is working indoors and stuff like this, it does affect me. And obviously reviewing chocolate's not great for that. So yeah, melt your ice cream quickly though, that's not too bad, I will say, that's a good advantage of it. But yeah, you know, anyway, so this is the 4th, not quite as heaty as the other heat waves, is it? But this probably will be the last one. I mean, can you believe it's nearly September? I can't believe it. You know, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's nearly September. It's really dark in the evenings as well, isn't it? You know, it's dark about 9 o'clock or something. Doesn't get light till gone 6 or something like that. So definitely, you know, the days and the nights are drawing in. That's for sure. You know, goodness me. But there we go. So yeah, I can't believe it's nearly September, nearly Christmas. And I've seen Christmas chocolates in the shops. Andrew mentioned it last week, and I think Alan did as well. You know, the reindeer Maltesers, gingerbread editions out. You know, I've seen the puds and stuff like that. Crazy, really, crazy. Alright, now another one I did a quite special one last year. So yes, it was a 2,500 subscriber special. So I did a Viennetta, the Lotus Biscoff Viennetta review. Yes, so I don't normally do ice creams for non-members, but this the limited for the special ones I do. Now nearly 2,800 odd subscribers, so we get to 3,000 soon hopefully. That'd be quite nice, won't it? We'll do a special then as well. But this one was actually a real disappointment. You know, real disappointment. I gave it 2.5 out of 5. I gave it. It was just really disappointing, you know. let's see, what did I write down? Let's have a look. It was just, it looks beautiful, looks elegant, you know, it looks really nice. Like V-netters always have this sort of look to them. They're not really, you know, they are quite cheap and not really that's, but they do look nice, you know, they do have a look to them and a feel to them that's quite posh, I think you might even say, quite indulgent. But the thing is, it just didn't deliver on it, you know. It had all these sort of like, I don't know, it was basically, you know, it had had that typical nice crack as you slice into it or whatever, which V-netters do have, you know. It's basically like a layered ice cream. I don't know what you'd say. It's almost like a cake, isn't it? Really, it's a bit weird, you know. But it's lots of ice cream with layers of chocolate and things which crackle as you sort of crack it as you slice into it. But it had like a Biscoff crumb, which is crumbs of Biscoff, as you imagine. But it was only on the top and a very thin layer to it, so it just went very quickly. There's a Biscoff spread in it as well, but it was very hard. It wasn't very creamy, so it just didn't really remind you of Biscoff spread at all. So there's had all these Biscoff components, but none of them really gave you that big of a Biscoff taste, and some of them weren't there for very long. You know, they went very quickly, or they were only in parts of the product and things like that. It was just very disappointing, really. Really disappointing, you know. So yeah, very disappointing, that one. Yeah, it was still ice cream. It was still nice. And I think regular vanilla ice cream is a 2 out of 5. So I don't think I can really mark it down, but you know, it just was really pretty poor. So 2.5 out of 5. I think that's probably about right. But it was a bit of a poor product, that one, really, you know. Don't know if you can still get it or not. In England, we usually don't have air conditioning units at home, so when the weather gets hot, it can be a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, this is it. It's terrible, isn't it, really, Skywalker? It is terrible. I'm going to try, and this year, in winter time when they're cheaper, I'm going to see if I can get some kind of air conditioning unit. Maybe not actual air conditioning, but something that's a bit more better than just a fan, you know. I'm going to see if I can get something, because it's just not pleasant, you know. The house was getting to like 29 degrees inside the house, and obviously if you're outside with a breeze and things, that might be tolerable, but inside the house it's just like a, you know, stale air and things, and yeah, and if you open the windows you just get all these flies coming in and stuff like that, so I need to sort it out. Yeah, so let me know if you have any recommendations, throw them in Discord or something, and but yeah, I'm going to see what I can get anyway. You know, obviously hopefully helps keep the, you know, the chocolate cool as well, maybe, stuff like that, but just not pleasant. I need to find some solution. It's just not nice, you know, really not nice at all. And it happens every year now, you know, so yeah. Alright, so here we go. Yeah, exactly my point. My office does those, so works good for something, I guess. Can't wait for Christmas chocolates. Yeah, this is it. It's one advance of going in the office, although it's too cold in my office sometimes because you're directly underneath the air vent thing. It just gets too cold then. You can't win, can you really? You just can't win, you know, one thing or another, never a perfect temperature. Strange how these, in my office at least, has this crazy air conditioning system where, you know, if you set air conditioning, you expect it to be, so let's say you set it to 25 degrees. Now, to me, that means it will set it to 25 degrees, you know, so if it's cold, it'll put heat in, if it's too hot, it'll put cold in, you know, that's kind of how I think these things should work. But nonetheless, for some stupid reason, my office air conditioning has this weird concept of two types of maintaining the heat or the chill or whatever, like a cold way of doing it and a warm way of doing it. So if it's a cold way of doing it, it's just pumping out cold air and making you cold, you know. So or the hot way, which doesn't pump out cold air, which is actually reasonably nice. So, but it always defaults to the cold one. So it's like a snowflake symbol. I don't get it, because for me, if you set it to 25 degrees, then that's what it should try and achieve, you know, and it will make it colder or warmer. But for some reason it has this weird concept of 25 degrees, but a cold 25 degrees or a warm 25 degrees. Now to me 25 degrees is 25 degrees. So I just don't get it at all. It blows my mind that this contraption exists. So it causes all sorts of problems because people obviously don't like it, and usually as well it's only a massive problem if you sat directly underneath where the air vents come out. It just happens in my latest office, and the air vents are all over the place. So all you need to do really is set it to the warm version, but people either turn it off or pump up the heat because they want it to get hotter. So it causes up because people don't understand, quite rightly, that it has a stupid system in place. So yeah, real nightmare. I just honestly don't understand it. It's a very, very strange concept. Don't know who designed that feature at all. But yeah, as I say, you would expect 25 degrees to be 25 degrees, but that is not how this air conditioning works. It's a very strange contraption, to say the least. Yes, I agree. It's like pushing ice in the air. It can affect respiratory. Yeah, it's not very pleasant at all. I mean, you know, if they do it right, you know, then it's, yeah, I don't know, very strange concepts, some of these things, I must say. But oh well, you know, I guess it's better. It could be worse. It could be worse, I guess. But there we are. Remember these? Well, no, Alan was a fan of these. Yes, the Fabulous Fox's dark chocolate rounds. Yes, so I gave these out. I give these ones 4 out of 5. Lovely thick chocolates, indulgent. Yeah, dark chocolate's just the right strength on these ones as well. So basically, rounds are sort of, you know, Fox's biscuits. It's like almost like a classic Fox's biscuit, isn't it? Really. You get them in their selections and things. It has like a shortbread centre, dark chocolate on the outside. You know, this, that, and the other. Now, Alan gives a 5 stars. Alan says 5 stars. Look at that, perfectly aligned almost with the star system I've got there, Alan. Look at that. Now, to me, of course, you know, they are really nice. They are really nice. But of course, if you compare them to something like, you know, Borders dark chocolate raspberry biscuits or whatever, you know, I just feel like they've got something a bit more above these. You know what I mean? So, so I couldn't give them that high. I felt myself. But they are very clear. I must say, they are very nice. But I've got a pack in the cupboard just now. Look at that. Goodness me. Were you on the search for those ones I didn't put in last week's Stash Watch, Alan? And did you get those instead or find those as well as? Yeah. But yes, they are very nice, I must say. There's something about them. Very nice indeed. Just a very indulgent biscuit. But honest, I think just to keep, for me, I think I prefer Borders dark chocolate raspberry biscuits. And dark chocolate gingers perhaps as well. I think they just bump a bit better for me for these ones. So, they are, as I say, they are definitely closer to, probably close to a 4.5 out of 5. But I think for me, I'm just going to keep them as a 4. But as I say, they've got the Alan seal of approval there, so yes. So for me, 4 out of 5. But Alan, you know, definitely a big fan of those ones. 5 out of 5 for Alan there. Yes. The Borders definitely got the edge, yeah. So I guess, well, there we are in agreement there. You can still have, you know, obviously things can still be the same rating, so 5 out of 5 in Alan's case for both of those. But obviously some of them are still better than others, you know. But for me, I think, yeah, I've just kept it to a 4 out of 5. But certainly very close to a 4.5 out of 5. And if I had, you know, if I had to change it, it would go to a 4.5 rather than a 3.5, that's for sure. And it's very close to being that. Very nice biscuits, those Fox's rounds. They're very nice. Just really something about them, you know. They do loads of different ones now. They've got loads of different flavours, and not all limited edition either. They've got toffee ones, don't they, and the white chocolate ones, and there's regular ones, milk chocolate. A couple of other flavours as well. I think there's a honeycomb one or something. Very nice indeed. My niece is turning 2 and can never say Fox's biscuits without saying the curse word. I say, must give you a good laugh there. Goodness me. Obviously I won't repeat what I'm assuming you mean in there, but yeah. It's funny what comes out of kids' mouths sometimes, isn't it? It must be said, you know. It can make you laugh. But they work with children and animals, that's what they say, isn't it? For reasons like that. Goodness me. But it's good that she's doing well though, and she's got good tasting biscuits by the sound of it. But hopefully she'll be able to hopefully she'll be able to actually say it soon. But obviously gives you a good laugh in the meantime. Oh dear. Alright, there we go. Let's see. Okay. So only one more for today, guys. Only one more, believe it or not. Only one more. Got there already, really. Yeah. Bit of a... Well, it's half an hour, still not too bad. What I might do, by the way, next week or maybe the week after, I'm not sure. I might try and do some... see if we get... Obviously, the thing is, it does depend on people turning up, so it's one of those. But I might try for next week or the week after, depending on Stash Watch. Maybe to just do one where it's sort of talking about our favourite biscuits or favourite chocolates from our childhood, or ones that we, you know, some kind of topic, like let's just say, you know, chocolates they should bring back, or ones they should get rid of, ones they should replace, ones that need an upgrade or something like that, you know, ones that are boring, you know, we've seen enough of them, ones that need to do more limited editions of, something like that maybe. We could do some kind of discussion things around that, and might try and do things like that. I think that'd be quite interesting, I reckon. So might try and do that next week or the week after, so we'll see. So yeah, I don't know if that sounds alright to you. It sounds like a good idea to me. Hopefully you'll like it as well. Yes. Yeah, good plan. Alan's up for that one. Yeah, so I thought it'd be quite good because it's more interactive, isn't it? Really. I mean, I guess things like Stash Watch and this, you know, are a bit interactive, and I'll still do them and things like that. But I thought it might be good to mix it up a bit, and you know, for the lives as well, do something a bit different, really. So yeah, might try and do that. But obviously, the thing is, it does depend on people being here and stuff like that. It's quite difficult sometimes to show people around. You know, things like this, so it's one of those really. But we'll see, we'll give it a go. You know, we can give it a go, can't we? So there we go, yes. I'm glad you like the sound of that. I'm glad you like the sound of it. Right, so the last one for this week, which one is it? Let's have a look. Yes, I think it's, here we go, yes, Orange Flavoured Turkish Delight. Yeah, now, I think for me, I think it was the cherry one that was the one I really liked when they did that. They did lemon, they did cherry, they did orange. Obviously the regular rose one. Might have done another one, I'm not sure, but I think those are the ones that I can remember. The cherry one was really good. I really like that one. I think cherry, as I mentioned before, with the digestive slices, it's just a flavour that's it's just strong enough to be quite prominent and work very well. And I don't know, just for me, it's one of the flavours that uses a limited edition one that sort of stands out more than any other one. So if you did like a cherry Jaffa cake or a cherry, chocolate digestive or a cherry jammy dodger, often cherry is the one that works the best, I think. Was this your big hitter review? I think it was. It seems to get a lot of traction for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. This one, just took off more than others, and I've no idea why. It didn't. I mean, it's still, by YouTube standards, probably still quite low, but it got like about 2,000, 3,000 views, I think. Whereas normal videos get about 300 views. It got like 10 times more, views than normal, and there's no reason for why. I don't know why. I know Turkish Delight, I was having a big week that week, and lots were going on. The line of which in the wardrobe was out of the cinemas or something. I don't think it was. Not sure what was going on really, but yeah, interesting. But as far as I could tell, it made no sense. There's nothing different about this review than anything else. But I didn't give it that great a rating, though, to be honest with you. I didn't give it that good a rating. What did I give it? I gave it 2.5 out of 5. 2.5 out of 5 I gave it. I mean, what did you all think to this one? I mean, to me, I don't know, it just tastes a bit... The problem is, because of the way these Fry's Turkish Delights are, they often taste a bit like... I can't really describe what it is, but the best way I can describe it is like warm ice cream almost. There's something not quite right about the way it is. There's something not quite right about it. It just has the wrong... I don't know, there's something not right about the consistency or the I don't know, I won't say it's the temperature necessarily, but it's like when you have warm ice cream, there's something not quite right there. The product isn't as it should be. When I'm having Turkish Delight, the chocolate one, regular Turkish Delight I quite like with all the icing sugar and things. But when I'm having Fry's Turkish Delight, there's just something not quite right about it. I don't know what it is. Yeah, could be this. I'm not good with the jelly choc combo, Alan saying. Yeah, so I think exactly, it's something like that, but it works in Jaffa cakes though, doesn't it, Alan? You know what I mean? But there's something a bit more, because it's more prominent in Turkish Delight, it's just something not right about it, But there we go, but Skywalker though says, I love Fry's Turkish Delights, but for the original, I would go out of my way. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy one, but I feel a nice weight to them. That's a plus when you have one. They are quite chunky, I must say, they are quite chunky. Yeah, there's something a bit odd though, I must say, Skywalker, I don't know, but I just like the normal one. The cherry ones were quite nice, I must say. The cherry ones were quite nice. What do you mean? Fry's Turkish Delights? Yes, yeah. The cherry ones I thought worked quite well. Maybe because they're quite, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird one for me. They're a weird consistency, but I can certainly, not to knock anyone who does like them. I don't know, it's something about it, I don't know, just doesn't quite, it's a very strange product, I think. Obviously, if you do like it, there's nothing else like it really, is there? They're very interesting, especially chocolate coloured ones. I remember having someone in the office brought some Turkish Delight in from, I don't know, let's just say Turkey, wherever it was. It was like the rose Turkish Delight, but it was done in slices, it all like slices of salmon almost. It was very weird. It had like icing sugar on it as well, but very strange, but it was nice. But very perfume-like as well. It's the other thing with regular Turkish Delight, it's quite perfume, isn't it? But yeah, the orange one for me, I don't know, it tasted a bit like, as I say, it tasted like warm ice cream almost. There's something not quite, I don't know if it's like, maybe it's because it's like jelly. Jelly often comes from the fridge, doesn't it? Maybe that's why I'm expecting it to be cold, because it's quite jelly-like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to chill them. Maybe I'll try chilling them at some point, see if that makes a difference for me. I think for me this one, I think 2, probably if anything lower really, but I'm going to stick to a 2.5 out of 5. I feel like it's just not quite, I don't know. But yeah, have you had any of the limited edition on Skywalker? You have to let me know if you have any, liked any. But the thing is, they're all limited editions, so they're not around anymore. They're quite difficult to, if you miss them, you can't get them anymore. I think the cherry one seemed to be around for longer than all the others. But yeah, other than that, bit of a strange one really, that one. They seem to very much stick to the rose ones. It's weird as well how Fry's are still around, isn't it? Because you never really hear much about their products, but they're still around, aren't they? Like the Fry's creams and the Turkish Delights, As I said, they do seem to sort of do different flavours and things nowadays. Past 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, they've been pushing new flavours, but they've never really stuck to them. I don't know. Seems an odd one really. I feel like they just, I don't know. I feel like they should be able to do a bit more than what they're doing, but I don't know the sales figures and things. So there we are. But there we go. I haven't tried that. I haven't tried many, but I like one when I have one. I think fries are underrated. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that they're around because they definitely do things that other companies don't. And yeah, they seem, and you know what I mean. But yeah, they seem to. I just wish they kind of did a bit more. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe they just get by on what they've got. But you know, I don't know. I say they do these limited edition things every now and again nowadays, which is good. It's just definitely a step forward. But I would just wish they did a bit more, really. But yeah, I don't know. But maybe it costs money, doesn't it? So maybe that's what it is. Just need to be a bit careful. A fries mini mix heroes type box could be a winner, like you suggested. Yeah, this is it. You know, if they're not going to do fries 5 center, I think that would definitely be a good thing to do, really. You know, and I know they do that weird limited edition selection box they do, but it's not the same. Yeah, so it'd be nice if they did do that. I think could even throw in the Turkish delights as well, couldn't they? The creams and Turkish delights. You know, a few things in there. Their chocolate isn't great. I suppose that's why. Yeah, maybe that's it. They just. Yeah, maybe it's all the flavours that go with it that are the secret. Although yeah, I don't know. I feel like it works on the chocolate bars, like the creams and things. But yeah, I don't know. Like you say, maybe it's just I don't know. But like a little mini selection box, you know, like Alan was talking about there, would be quite nice. I think just have little individually wrapped chocolates, or even I don't know, even they could even have make it like a chocolate box or something. But it'd be nice if they just did something. I feel like there's scope there for something, you know what I mean? I feel like there's definitely something there that they could do, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day. Oh dear. Well, there we go, guys. Yeah, so what's to the end of the Stash Watch for this week? Well, Stash Watch, look back. Hope you enjoyed that one. As I said, I'll put all the links in the description for all the reviews I've done, so you can have a look at them, see what they're like, you know, see if any of the comments off you on those as well, see what you reckon to them. But there we go, so quite an interesting one, quite nice, as I say, quite a nice sort of selection of chocolates. Interesting about the top deck ones, I must say as well. I feel that's quite an interesting, yes. I feel that's quite an interesting one, the way that, you know, Cadbury's tried to bring that back, but he just did a cop out of it really, and it's just frustrating, especially when you see it compared to the Australian one. So as I say, I'll put the links in the description for that, so you can look at them both. Obviously you could just search top deck on the channel or whatever. It certainly is, I don't know, just certainly is an example of Cadbury UK just being a bit poor, really, you know what I mean? Yeah. Nice look back again, thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great one too as well. Yeah, thank you for tuning up. Really is, it's good to see you. And, filling is on point. Yes, is it? I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like you say, Skywalker. The filling of fries, they've definitely got that bit right for the, for people who like the different ones as well. That's for sure. Well done for the members who won the memberships as well. Harrison Fisher, Georgie Skywalker, you got on Skywalker. Rick B and Poppycorn as well. Yes, congratulations. Enjoy your memberships, as we say. And, great stuff. Well, I tuned in this week. We missed last week, so let's keep the streak. Yes, have a great weekend. Good to see you, Skywalker. Yeah, don't worry, I realise you can't make it all the time, but it's great to see you when you do. And I'll say next week I might try and do, I might do a Stash Watch next week. I'm not sure. I might not actually, because I've got so much to review anyway that I don't necessarily need to do one to get things out of the way. But there is a lot of new products out there, so I might just try and do maybe more of an interactive one. So we'll see. Yeah, I'll try and think midweek. Obviously, quite early to sort of like get people informed. Really, it's something a bit different. So I might try and do it. So basically, we can have a talk about chocolates that we miss, chocolates that would like to come out, overrated chocolates, underrated chocolates. I don't know, a subject like that. And we might mix it up, have a different one each week or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. We will rely on people being here, I think. So we'll see. So it might, if people turn up, then it might be good. If they don't, then that's why I might publish it early to make sure that people can try and make it. So we shall see. But obviously there are people who watch who don't chat normally, so it might bring out people who are watching, but perhaps aren't chatting as well. So maybe that's the other thing also. So we'll see. But there we go. Alright guys, well thanks so much. Great to see you, Skywalker. It's great to see you, Alan, as well, and Andrew, of course. Hope you have a great time in Austria. And everyone else is watching as well. Have a great day, great weekend, great time, and and I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. See ya. Have a good one, Skywalker. See you soon.